With that being said, we are moving on to the Heisman Trophy winner in 2020, DeVonta Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. He was the first wide receiver to win the Heisman since 1991. Listen, the biggest knock that I've heard about DeVonta Smith coming out of the draft or going into the draft is his weight. He comes in at 6 feet, 170, 174, something like that. And I frankly just had enough of it. I don't really care. This guy's been playing football while also probably trying to pass a Spanish test the last 2 or 3 years. Like, people forget that these college players, although on a national stage, they have other things that they have to get done. It's called college, right? People think that they have this easy route to just go right to the NFL. They have to do things too. Don't get me wrong. When he gets into the NFL, there are people that are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to get the most out of these guys. You can best believe that someone like DeVonta Smith is going to pack on the poundage once he gets into the NFL. And even if he doesn't, I still think that's okay. He might take some hits. He might, it might be a little scary sometimes, but he's shown toughness in college. Obviously, the competition gets tougher in the NFL. I don't think it's a worry, though. I think it's something that we'll just have to wait and see. And for all of you doubters out there, you're going to be sorry because it's probably going to be pretty good. With that being said, Detroit, via trade, has him with the 16th pick, according to the NFL mock draft this morning. I really like him with the number 11 pick to the New York Giants. I know, right? They signed Kenny Golladay. They have Evan Ingram. They have Sterling Shepard. They have options there, right? They got Kyle Rudolph. DeVonta Smith puts that offense over the top. And when you look at an organization that like the New York Giants, they are literally giving Daniel Jones every opportunity to say, this is your chance. We have surrounded you with the utmost of opportunity to succeed. If you can't, you're done. Adding DeVonta Smith is just like the cherry on the cake there. I love it. I think it's a great fit. He's a very precise route runner. Kenny Golladay, we talk about this time and time again. We always have conversations about Kenny Golladay on the podcast and how, the volume's never really been there. He's been kind of that deep pass catch guy. He's also been kind of injured throughout the last couple of years. DeVonta Smith comes in. He's able to create space in just extraordinary ways. He's a very precise route runner. And I just think that's another weapon that New York could use at their disposal at the wide receiver position. So my pick would be the New York Giants. But there's two sides to this coin. Jacob, how do you feel?
Yeah, man. All anybody's talking about is how the weight of DeVonta Smith and how skinny he is and all this stuff. And I'm like, I understand where they're coming from because, like, even a Deshaun Jackson, right, who was similar type player, he's been injured a lot, all his career. And then even like a Marquise Hollywood Brown, very similar type player, right? He hasn't been able to explode on the scene yet. He's had some great games, some explosive plays, but can somebody be like that style of player and just be consistent week in and week out? And I think they can. That he's been able to get this far. Who would have thought this 174-pound guy would win the Heisman, first wide receiver since 91, like you said. So he's already overcoming the odds. And I don't care what people say. He's going to get to NFL. They're going to do what they got to do to take care of his body. So I'm not worried about that. I like your pick with the Giants. That's where a lot of people have him going there. And I guess a lot of my picks are like kind of selfish fantasy player because I'm like, I don't want him to go to New York because it's going to take away targets from other people. It's going to take away targets from him. So I just want to move a little bit tiny more down on the draft board to the Philadelphia Eagles at the number 12 pick. Look, so here's the thing, though. A lot of people, and we're going to talk about this guy next, Jalen Waddle. Some people have Waddle over him on draft boards. Mm-hmm. And I guess at that point, who do you like, right? So we could see a situation where Smith goes to the Giants, Waddle goes to the Eagles. The Eagles need to do something, though. And that's what I'm saying. The Eagles need a playmaker. Jalen Reagor, is decent. He needs to, like, Jalen Reagor would thrive with a Joe Burrow throwing to him, maybe not a Jalen Hurts. So I don't know how Rager's going to work out, but I can just already see. Look, Deshaun Jackson, he was a phenomenon in Philadelphia his rookie year. Let's bring that back to Philadelphia with Smith, and I could already see him in the Eagles uniform just booking it down the field, and so I like it. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Deshaun Jackson, right? That speed, that burst, that breakaway game breaking.
Yes, Deshaun Jackson. Yeah.
Obviously, I think he's a much more gifted athlete. Of course, I mean, who am I to speak, right? Deshaun Jackson is gifted as well, but DeVonta Smith a little bit more touted coming out of the draft. But no, I love Philadelphia, which is why we're going to talk about Waddle next and why I think Waddle might be a better option. Yeah, I seem to be going with the flow. I get it.
Well, no, it makes sense.
The options make sense, right?
That's the thing. That's the reason why they're there. They make sense. And I just tried to switch it up. Like, what if that doesn't happen? What else could happen, you know?
Yeah, of course. And I think both Waddle, who we'll talk about, I mean, pretty much in just a moment, but both Waddle and Smith are just really good in the open space.